And welcome back to the Long Dark. So here we are in episode 3. We're gonna still got some time to pass before the daylight happens. Let's see what we can work on. So at this point in time, while it's still dark, the best that we can do is begin to um, harvest some items. You do not need daylight to harvest items. We need to keep an eye on our hydration. So we're going to go ahead and take us a little swig. Weather doesn't sound terribly bad out, but there's definitely some breeze blowing out there. Let's see what we got here. We got a new down vest and a decent sports vest. I'm going to say the down vest is probably better. As soon as we get an opportunity, um, we're going to pull these vests off anyway. So we're going to harvest this one. We are just about at daylight, but not quite yet. And we'll go ahead and harvest those gloves. All right, remind myself of the light that we have. Let's see how much we have in this. Pretty full. We have not searched the upstairs yet, so we can go ahead and do a little bit of searching. Antibiotics.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Well, if they need it or not, I'm taking it. Now there is word that they are going to get some NPCs in the game. They are not in the sandbox as of yet, but that could come in one of the future updates.
Thank goodness.
All right. For those of you that remember how this upstairs used to look, I'm still kind of getting a little bit used to it. I run right in here thinking there's going to be a bed every time, and it's not there. Ooh. Strangely enough, the toque, the cotton toque that I just picked up, doesn't even seem to be as good as the crafted head coverings that you can make by hand. In these toilets, you can get potable water. There has been a time when I have gotten unpotable water, but that seems to be on rare occasions. We'll go ahead and take that. Water is one of those things you need, but you got to watch because it begins to over encumber you really quick if you carry too much water with you. But it's also a resource that, as long as you can start a fire, is virtually never ending, as long as you got a container with which to boil it down in. So oftentimes if you get over encumbered, one of the items that you can drop the easiest is just drop your water. Fill up on your hydration and drop your water and relieve yourself of that water weight. So this is episode 3. I recorded the first 2 episodes in one sitting, and then as I was watching the playback, I realized that the mic volume wasn't quite to acceptable standards. I'm going to hope that this record volume is just a little bit better standard, and yeah, if not, I will adjust as we go. I want to make this the best YouTube gaming experience I can make for you guys. I know I wouldn't sit and watch something that was not enjoyable to watch. Um, and audio is one of those things that really, if you have bad audio, you have a bad video. So please comment, let me know. I will definitely work on it. Being as I did pick up the antibiotics, I'm going to go ahead and give this a chance. Um, Rarely do I ever get food poisoning from an energy bar, but you can. While I would hate to have to sleep 10 hours and waste this day, I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. The old college try. Hey, and we got lucky, so no food poisoning there. I'm going to go ahead and top off my hydration, add a few more calories. And then I think what I'm going to do, yeah, let me create some bandages while I'm thinking about it. The last thing you need is to start bleeding and not have any bandages to kind of dress your wound. That'd be a foolish way to die, but it does happen. So an improvised head wrap provides you 1.8 degrees of warmth and a 0.9 degree wind protection. So let's go ahead and just check this out. So we will repair this to 100%. Now when you fail a repair, it does consume your cloth. So you go through your cloth if you are not successful. Okay, so we are at 100% on this. And let's take an example. See, we have 1.8, so it's a 0.1 degree decline in fully repaired improvised head wrap, and it has the same wind protection. So for me, I would just prefer to go ahead and leave this on. This is at 99%, and it's basically the same. It is a little bit better when it comes to your water. So when it's wet, it's still 10% effective, and it does give you some protection. Again, baseball caps, unless you really need them. So maybe there is a benefit to wearing this instead of an improvised head wrap. So I'm going to go ahead and wear that. And then let's look at this. So this is at 99%, and it too is better. So we will leave it on that. So with this, we are just going to go ahead and get our cloth back out of this. We'll only get one cloth back, so we lose one cloth in doing that, but I think that's okay. And we will harvest this. Now there is something to be said about about repairing all the clothing items you get just in order to add to your skill levels. Speaking of skill levels, if you go in here, each one of these are your skill levels. Obviously we're really not good right now, and so mending is just beginning to climb. It's not quite, it's probably at a third. So we could spend our time mending everything that we pick up and then just reharvest it and kind of gain some of our losses. However, yeah, I'm just not going to spend a whole lot of time doing that right now. Boy, that wind outside. I wish that wind would die down a little bit to give us an opportunity to get to where it is that I'm going to be trying to going. Alright, let me double check. Yeah, I'm good on water and food. We're going to go ahead and try to repair this. The bad thing is if you fail on your repair, you lose your cured leather and your cloth. But we have a 70% success chance, so we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. Alright, so that puts us up to 98. So we're good on that. That took an hour and a half to repair. And then the last thing is really this ragged thin wool sweater. Let's go ahead and spend an hour repairing this. Keep an eye here. There's nothing like
I need to find food.
losing non-needed condition due to just not paying attention to the fact that you may be hungry, you may be thirsty, and you're just losing condition, just to that fact. We will go ahead and repair this as well. This is going to take 30 minutes. I should have plenty of... Ooh, this should be the last use on this. Oh, and so there that went. Let's go ahead and repair it. And we're at 89%. I'm going to leave that for now, because that'll also be one of the things that I get rid of as soon as I get the opportunity. All right, so there's that. I'm pretty sure that we've gone through everything downstairs that we need to go through. Just kind of give me a little real quick. Oh, nope. There is a soda hiding out from me. Excellent, like George Burns. Alright, so one more place to look while it's kind of storming a little bit. We're going to drop down into the basement. You used to have to go outside and go around to get down into the basement. I really appreciate the fact that we don't have to do that anymore. We can just kind of drop right straight down into the basement. All these crates can be broken down for wood, but we're not going to worry about that right now.
This will come in handy.
Another soda kit, more disinfectant, more scrap metal. These matches, I think this is a 100% chance that they show up here every time. Oftentimes when you're an interloper, this is one of the first places that you'll come to just so you can get matches. But loot spawns pretty much seem to be random. Some basic items, you'll find in certain areas.
That'll come in handy.
Trail boots. There's a worn old-fashioned parka. We're going to hold on to that for just a second. We have that P coat on us, which is a really good coat.
I need to drop something.
T-shirt, that's going to be scrapped. Ooh, worn wool long johns. So that is the best underwear you're going to find in the game. It's amazing the difference in the loot between interloper and stalker.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, this is like amazing finds. I'm not used to getting whetstones. Those are important, more so in interloper, but also in stalker. However, in stalker you usually find enough axes and I guess I should call them hatchets and knives that you don't really need the whetstones as much as you do when you've had to craft your own items, and you're worried about the condition falling down to a point where they become in disrepair and break on you. So let's check out this clothing. Well, I guess the first thing I want to do is I just want to go ahead and we don't have the cloth for that, so let's go ahead and harvest some of these. We are about to drop down to starving. There's not much I can do about that without going outside. It's not worth it at this point in time. We're still relatively early on in our run, so the well-fed buff, while it is important, it's not dire right now. I believe the trail boots are actually the better boots. Once they're repaired up, they're a little bit better in protecting you against the elements. They're obviously a little bit lighter. I think yeah, it looks like the protection is less with these, but the encumbrance on your sprint meter is less. They encumber you up to 10%. So I would really like to go ahead and repair these up and then just switch out boots. It doesn't sound like this storm is going to give up anytime soon. It's actually almost nighttime as we speak. There is a danger of staying inside too long. We've been inside now, I believe, for over a day, of getting an affliction called cabin fever. It is a horrible, terrible, terrible thing. It forces you to go outside. If you do get cabin fever, you cannot sleep or pass time indoors. So let's hope that this doesn't become an issue. Let's go ahead and try to repair these up. And that sounds like it is coming to an end. So yeah, it's pretty quiet outside, and I know where I want to go. So we're going to download some of these things that we don't need right now. We got some pretty good amount of that. Let's go ahead and do this by category. We're going to get these away. Right now I want to get down below my encumbrance. There's an argument that I don't need to carry all of these books. However, if you do not have them, you cannot read them. Usually you need to read these when I have fallen into starvation mode, so drinking the sodas right now are probably not necessary. Probably could have been paying attention a little bit more and maybe could have stopped that. Okay, we don't need charcoal right now. Let's see. I really want to just go. We're not terribly over encumbered. I am going to go ahead and drink some of these. Let's take a look outside. It's not terribly cold out. The snow is still falling pretty heavy. Let's see if we got our... Nope. Oftentimes there's what we call a prop deer. It's a dead deer or sometimes a wolf, depending on where you're at. A dead carcass that's been laid out in the environment for you to find and scavenge for free. They're kind of important, especially early going. I see that wolf over there. We do have a hatchet now. A hatchet is one of the more lethal weapons to get into a struggle with. I think it does the most physical damage and the most bleeding to an animal like that. But at this point in time, we don't want to get into a physical altercation with the wolf at all. So we're going to go to one of the best loot locations in Pleasant Valley and see if we can't get lucky. We'll be coming back down to the barn later, but right now the sun going down and this weather possibly changing on me. We're just going to go ahead and push our way over to this. The bad thing is being over encumbered as we are, we're going to have to take the long way around. but that's okay. The long way is not too terribly long. This cave here can potentially be a bear spawn cave. It doesn't appear to be that way this time. Normally there would be some skeletal remains, some bones laying right on the inside of the cave to let you know that indeed it is a bear cave, but it is not a bear cave this time around. We are going to look here and just see exactly how so we still got a few hours before it gets dark. We are kind of exhausted. Oh yeah, we're almost 20 pounds encumbered right now, mostly because we've lost almost 13 pounds just due to being tired, or I was going to consider dropping some gear and making that climb. Oh yeah, we can take 9 minutes. So we will leave the hide and we will leave the guts. We will come back through and get those later. But if you see right into the middle of your screen, well, right now it's showing you that we are blocked from the wind in our current location. But it gave us a stink meter up here. We are a one-time scent. While not terrible, the animals and wildlife in the area can smell us. And do have a potential to begin to draw predators our direction. I think essentially what it does is it increases the ring at which you can be detected by predators such as wolves and bears. A level 2 stink is definitely something to be concerned about, and a level 3 stink begins to draw every predator on the map to your location. Ooh, and there is a wolf right there, so this is probably not going to be the best idea in the world to even go in that direction. I know you're out there, buddy. I'm on heightened awareness right now. This is really a dangerous foolish move having this meat on me, being this tired, trying to sneak past this wolf, but it looks like we made it without being detected. If I would have had any higher than a level 1 scent on me, I would not have attempted that at all. But I didn't want to waste that trip because the only other option was to drop the meat or to go back down to the barn, and I just didn't want to waste this trip. We are too close to being at this area, and we kind of need, hopefully, what's in here. We will go over these rose hips and reishi mushrooms that I've collected along the way as soon as I get inside and I'm no longer in danger of having my face eaten off by our neighborhood friends.
Out of this stuff.
Lots of ammunition, another storm lantern.
Excellent. What have we here?
That is decent. And emergency stems. Those can definitely come in handy, well, in an emergency situation.
Disappearing.
I know, you're exhausted and you're starving to death. But we are going to work on that here directly. Scrap metal. Rifle cartridge. Another rifle cartridge. And we have our first firearm, the revolver. It's at 40%, so it definitely needs some TLC. But we have plenty of firearm cleaning kits.
Starting to weigh me
Just
down.
the overwhelming amount of loot that is on this setting is almost infuriating for us that play on the interloper setting, where it's one empty drawer after another empty drawer and a bunch of nothing. And we have lots of ammo.
Thank goodness.
So as you see, I was talking about our indicators down on the bottom left. We've been hungry and exhausted for a minute now, and it has barely made any effect in our overall condition at all. So while you do not want any of your indicators to really fall into the red, they can fall there and it'd be okay. Coffee, that's a huge find. Peanut butter is one of the better food products. We're just going to go ahead and eat that.
I'll be hungry later.
You might be hungry later. Not the best condition, but it can be cooked to add to my cooking skill. We have an Expedition Parka. This is one of the best jackets in the game. So it was definitely worth the risk to come to this location. Anytime you find yourself in Miserable Valley, you definitely want to stop by here. This is called Signal Hill. It's going to provide some of the best loot in the area. So snow pants, those are some great pants. So we're getting geared up just fine here. We're going to make us a long survival here, barring, wow, barring being eaten alive by bears or wolves.
This
Um,
one.
So it has been an extremely long time since I've played on the Stalker difficulty, and I just had forgotten the vast amount of loot that can be found in here. So I guess the first thing I want to do is see, we have enough hydration and enough food right now, and it's just about to get dark. So we're going to kind of go through what it is that we got. Well, this is higher warmth but less wind protection. This is at 83%. I would imagine until we repair all of these up, it's going to be hard to know which one is exactly the best. The problem with putting all these coats on is each one of these is going to provide a sprint meter encumbrance, as opposed to no sprint meter encumbrance. And if you desire to run at all, you may not want to wear very many of these, but you could literally bundle up to the point where you could walk around in a blizzard in the early game and it not even have any effect on you. I'm going to say that this worn sweater is probably going to be the best item. Let's go ahead and, well, fail a few times and lose some cloth and find out. 96% compared to 89%. Actually, there's a 97%, so that gives us a better understanding. So it's got better wind protection. So it would be one that you would want on your exterior. This has only got a 0.9. These have almost a whole degree of wind protection, while it isn't providing the warmth protection that some of these other ones would be providing, as opposed to this one. We are going to actually, that didn't change my wind protection at all. Maybe because it was not in the right slot. It still may not change my wind protection at all because it's no longer my outsidest area. It did not change my windproof bonus at all, presumably because it's underneath of my jackets. So we don't need these. We can actually harvest. We are even at 48% as opposed to 89%. These are much better. We're going to go ahead and wear these, and then we will put the jeans, wrong way, take off. We will wear these and put the jeans back on underneath, and allow this to be more wind protection here. You see we went up 3 degrees wind protection. Definitely repair these. And we have just lost the light. It has become dark on us, so we are not able to any longer repair. We could harvest, but at this point in time, what I think I'm going to do, we really need to cook that. Ooh, that's at 31%. However, being as I'm fixing to sleep anyway, and I do have antibiotics on me, I'll go ahead and take a chance and risk that. Ooh, that's surprising. I would have thought I would have gotten sick from that. And we are going to, we'll just go ahead and drink some water. And we are going to sleep for 9 hours. We are almost at daylight, but we are not quite at daylight yet. So what I'm going to
I could
do
eat a
to
horse.
eliminate some of this encumbrance is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to drink some of these lesser sodas, though condition for sodas doesn't matter a great deal. I have never gotten sick from a soda. I don't think it's even possible. Um, but they do carry some weight with them, and we can knock out two birds with one stone. So that's what we're doing. We're killing birds with stones. Okay. With our inventory here, we are going to check out some of these newer items that we just picked up. This is probably going to be better once it is prepared or repaired. It should probably be on that side. Actually, yeah, that would have been all right. Let's see if we can repair yet. Not quite. All right. Well, it looks like these are identical except for when it's wet. Um, this will do more when it is wet. So for that case, we're going to wear that, and then we are going to harvest that. Okay. And there we go. We have that. Oop, and we failed. All right. We will go ahead and give it one more shot. Excellent. And so we are wearing these right now. They're 3.5 to 1.8. These are only 1.8 to 1.8. However, they give us a little bit better sprint bonus. They're also lighter. They are over a pound lighter. Um, they are more effective when they are wet. They do not offer as much protection, but I think I like these better. I will lose that 2-degree warmth bonus, and I will make that warmth bonus up in other areas. So we are well over encumbered, mostly due to these jackets. So at this point in time, we really need to begin to decide which of these jackets we're going to keep. We have been inside quite some time now. Let's see what I have. I got some wood on me, and I do need to do some cooking. So we are going to go out here, and we're just going to go ahead and start a fire. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Um, it's early on, still in the day. Let's put that away. We don't need that anymore. Do not want to use that. We'll use the book. The Fire Striker is the best fire starting tool that you have. Though there are some tricks to the trade that we will probably get into a little later in the game. Alrighty, and there we go on that. We'll put some of this reclaimed wood in there. And we are up over the freezing mark, so I'm just going to save the rest of the wood for the time being. And we're going to cook this. It is at 17%. It's going to be ready in right under an hour. So we're going to go ahead and begin to examine these jackets just a little bit closer. That's at 30. That's 99%. So this is as good as this jacket's going to get. This one, I believe, is going to be the best jacket. Okay, that was 45 minutes. So this is going to be ready here very soon. And notice it went from 17% to 66% by cooking it. So yeah, we're going to eat that. Get a nice little belly full of meat. And we have an hour and a half left on our fire. We could cook some other things, but right now I do want to kind of focus in on these jackets. We are definitely going to get rid of this regardless, and it gives us 2 back. That's 1 repair on the Expedition Parka, which is probably the one that's going to be the best. Hopefully we don't fail and lose our cloth. And we are not. We're at 90%. Let's take a look and just see. So that's a 4.5 to 6.0 at 83%. Haha. That is at 9.6 and 6.5. So that is definitely hands down way better than this. So we're going to wear that. The only place it is better is it is still 75% effective because it's a Mariner's peak coat. It's designed to be wet, but it's got a 6% bonus, as this only has a 5% bonus. And so the next I'm going to wear this one. Oh, not on there. I'm going to wear that. And then I'm going to wear that. And we are at 32 degrees with a 16 degree windproof bonus. This is a lot. So with that, we have 26 minutes remaining. We're going to go ahead and cook this. "14 minutes until it is ready." And we are quite tired. However, it's midday, so we're not kind of ready to go to sleep yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some coffee to restore some of my my stamina, my fatigue there. Gain cooking skill from that. We're going to go ahead and drink this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cook a couple of coffees. Just to have them cooked and prepared. To be used when needed. Sounds like there may be a carcass laying around here somewhere. Nope, that's going to be over the edge of the hill here, probably down in that general direction. Alrighty, so probably our biggest area right now is going to be our clothing department. There's no sense in carrying these amount of jackets around with us. We will know that they're here in case we do ever need to come back and get them. We will have a decent outfit waiting for us. Um, but I am happy with the clothing allotment that we have right here. Though I could repair that up just a little bit. I could repair that up just a little bit. And let's see, we don't need two of those. I'm going to go ahead and leave the scrap metal behind right now. That can be found relatively easy or made as the case may be. Alright, so with that, I believe that we are ready to push out. We are over encumbered just a little bit. Right, so we didn't get sick on that. Before we go too far, just in case. We're going to try not to use that just because the condition is low, but it'll be there in case we need to shoot a wolf in the face. Sometimes they just need a shooting, you know? And there's the sprains that I'm talking about. We're going to go ahead and address that. I was going to just leave it alone. But here it is. The air temperature is 5 degrees. We're still feeling like 37 degrees out. Yeah, we practically are good here. Make sure when you're doing these that you pay attention to what it is that you're doing. If it's for the pain, it's only the pills and the teas that'll help. And then obviously if it's for the sprain itself, you can bandage that up. We don't have anything right now prepared for the pain, so we're just going to have to suck it up and keep it moving and get to a place where we can begin to deal with it a little bit more effectively. So at this time I just want to go ahead and get back down off of this hill and then get down to that barn that we passed a couple of times. And there we have another sprain. You'll get to love the sprain system that they have here. I know I do. One hour, 2 hours, hour and 25 minutes. We'll do the hide. It's kind of dangerous doing really long segments. A knife is really what we need in this, but the weather can change so quick on you and really put you into a bad way. Notice with the pain how the edges of the screen begin to blur a little bit. The more pain that you're registering due to different sprains and whatnot, the worse your visibility gets. I do believe this is one of the newest tracks that have been released with the Errant Pilgrim. Yeah, I love the music and the soundtrack to this. I was gonna get me a little bunny, but he spotted me, and I didn't feel like chasing him around the yard. So we are actually warming up in here. Um, I've never found anything up here. However, they've made it, so I'm going to look, and we will see if we find anything of worth this time. We are warming up. And nada. That's okay. It's worth checking out and just making sure. So dramatic. Well, I think that we were down to 0 tinder plugs, so that kind of came in a little bit handy. So we are warming up. We have 2 pain and another sprain, and we're approaching the end of the day. I do not think I want to stay in this barn for the night. I was considering just staying here in the barn for the night, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and take that and head back to the house and get back into the main house where I know that I'm safe from the temperature. Can feel free to sleep. Yes, unless my eyes are deceiving me, there's at least 4 wolves over in that area. If we had a rifle, might consider doing some wolf hunting. I'm not going to attempt it with just a pistol. Yeah, we have enough calories on us right now that we don't have to worry about that too much. The most pleasant of valleys, with the wind in your face, blowing your hair. There is a bear patrol route. It may be the bear that's in that cave, but there's a bear patrol route that brings a bear right down through here. This is great hunting ground for a bear. Your wolves rarely will come up this far um, without some type of scent drawing them. Speaking of scent, um, we're going to go ahead and drop our deer hide, which is going to take 5 days to cure. They cure out here just as well. And then we're going to go ahead and drop our guts. I'm undetermined whether or not we're going to stay here that long. Um, I know that there's probably one more uh, prop carcass in that general direction right over in there that we may go try to find, or we may not. So right now we're going to go ahead and just begin to wrap this episode up. We have gotten, there is still water in that toilet that we haven't taken yet. We'll hold that for a not so rainy day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish this book. Oh, I'm not healthy enough. Yes, I know exactly what they mean because of the sprains that I have sustained. I am not healthy enough to read right now, which is unfortunate. I really wanted to spend the final hours of the day reading that book. That would be a book I could drop. However, it is apparently not in the
I'm gonna need to
cards.
rest soon.
We're at the edge of the bed fixing to rest right now. Eat that candy bar. Save that dog food for in the morning. I'm going to drink some of these sodas, top off our hydration. Okay, so we are there on that. Um, 34 minutes, 16 minutes. So what I can actually do, I can go ahead and bandage up the wrist sprain. I can sleep for 1 hour. And Pleasant Valley at its best. Now, I am freed up. I may have enough to read the entirety. I'm going to go ahead and knock out 2 hours and see where that leaves us.
Feels like something is sapping my energy.
I don't think I'll be able to get that last hour. Ooh, and we got it. So that increases our small arms capacity. It is also, let's see, research is complete. I can drop that book. Oh, and we went up in our revolver skill. So let's check out and see what that gives us. So, in our revolver firearm skill, recoil compensation increased by 25% and 2 condition per repair action. So that is good. At this point in time, I think it's bedtime for Bonzo. So we are going to sleep. In the next episode, we're going to maybe hit a few more places in Pleasant Valley. And basically, I think we're going to be preparing to leave. I want to get to the new areas. And there's not much more that I really want to hang around Pleasant Valley for. Looks like we got about 3 more hours we can sleep. So I'm going to go ahead and knock those out. We'll just say 4 just in case. Hopefully we wake up to some good weather. Don't sound too terrible outside, but yeah, it does sound like it's picking up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to wrap this episode up here. So if you liked it, please give it that old thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And until next time, try to stay out of the dark.